Hallelujah and praise the Lord. Parliament is going to debate sacking Keir Starmer on the 6th of January 2025. It's just been announced.
Keir Starmer's time as Prime Minister is now entering its most dangerous phase yet. The widely shared petition calling for a snap general election has surged beyond 2.8 million signatures, compelling Parliament to schedule a debate on January 6th. Could this finally be the long-awaited push toward a desperately needed election? Let's take a deeper look at what these events truly mean for the UK.
There's been a petition. Now, under the UK parliamentary rules, if 100,000 people sign a petition, that petition has to be debated on the floor of the Commons. This is a petition that says you must call a general election, and it's got 2.5 million signatures. I don't think we've ever seen a government start so poorly, have we?
The debate is taking place under parliamentary rules activated when petitions exceed 100,000 signatures. Such petitions are passed to the Backbench Business Committee, which is responsible for arranging debates on matters of major public concern. This procedure, introduced during John Bercow's time as Speaker, guarantees that urgent issues raised by citizens are heard in Parliament, maintaining a crucial bridge between public opinion and legislative discussion. Although the debate may not instantly result in Starmer's ousting or trigger a new election, it unquestionably offers a strong platform to highlight the growing dissatisfaction with Labour's administration. MPs will hold detailed discussions on the public's grievances, from ineffective policies and unfulfilled promises to Starmer's increasingly criticized leadership. Many commentators now claim he has endured the worst beginning of any Prime Minister in UK history. Adding to his troubles, Starmer has openly admitted to breaking several of his pledges and shows no remorse for doing so. Here he is in conversation with Beth Rigby of Sky News.
Here he is speaking to Beth Rigby of Sky News.
You said in that speech it's disrespectful for Sunak to say the economy turned the corner when taxes are higher. But isn't it also disrespectful when you promise people, for example, to raise income tax for the top 5% of earners, and then you ditch that when you get nearer to power? Now, there might be good reasons for that, but doesn't acknowledging that you have broken some of the promises you made go some way to fixing these trust issues that you have?
I think it's
You've
really
just totally avoided that.
Most of them are still in place. Most of them. Okay, maybe not all of them. Most of them. Complete and utter lies.
Most of them are still there. Most of them. Okay, maybe not every single one. Most of them. Complete and utter lies. Starmer's government has been facing relentless criticism since its 2024 election victory. Despite boasting of a landslide, the win wasn't nearly as impressive as it appeared. The outcome was largely driven by a very low voter turnout, meaning many citizens didn't cast their ballots. In fact, only 1 in 5 people across the UK actually voted for Labour, a result that lacks genuine backing from the majority. Since then, Starmer's administration has been mired in controversies, from the winter fuel payment crisis to clampdowns on free speech. These blunders have alienated vital voter groups, particularly in Northern England, and among older citizens who had briefly returned to Labour after supporting Boris Johnson in 2019. The petition surpassing 2.8 million signatures has only intensified this discontent. Annunciata Rees-Mogg, sister of Jacob Rees-Mogg, recently exposed worrying statistics for Labour. She displayed a map of petition signatories and compared it to one highlighting the nation's most marginal constituencies, the seats where results are tightest, and Labour must maintain control to remain in government. What she discovered was striking, an almost identical overlap between both maps. The regions with the most signatures closely aligned with the key marginal areas Labour needs to hold on to in the next election. This indicates that much of the frustration with the government stems from these pivotal zones, potentially influencing the overall election outcome. Amid this public unrest, Reform UK, led by Nigel Farage, is rapidly gaining traction. Polls indicate the party could double its number of MPs in a general election, a clear sign of rising demand for alternatives to traditional parties. Farage's relatable style and powerful rhetoric are resonating with voters who feel forgotten by mainstream politicians. Just recently, he spoke about their expanding support during a Reform UK press conference.
I'm delighted that on Tuesday of this week, we went through the 100,000 number. I've led previous political parties. I led UKIP for many years, and the peak we got to then was 46,000. You might have noticed that in by-elections, weekly by-elections that take place for district, borough or county councils, we've now become active, and last week in Kent, we won our first county council by-election, and we'll win another one between now and Christmas in a county not too far away from there. So we're taking that seriously.
Meanwhile, the Conservative Party is beginning to see a slight rebound in the polls despite ongoing internal struggles. Tory MPs are taking advantage of the moment, with Kemi Badenoch dismissing Starmer's responses as nonsense and condemning Labour's reckless conduct. During a recent Prime Minister's question session, Badenoch didn't mince words, directly confronting Starmer over his careless leadership. Here's a short but intense clip from their exchange.
At the CBI conference on Monday, the Chancellor said, and I quote, "I'm clear, I'm not coming back with more borrowing or more taxes. I know that telling the truth to this House is important to the Prime Minister. So will he repeat his Chancellor's pledge now?"
Mr. Speaker, we set out our position at the budget that was just set out. We're fixing the foundations. We're dealing with the £22 billion black hole that they left. I'm not going to write the next 5 years of budgets here at this dispatch box. But, Mr. Speaker, we said we wouldn't hit the pay slips of working people. We passed the budget, we invest in the future, and we kept that promise.
Mr. Speaker, he's not fixing any foundations, he's making everything worse. The whole House would have heard him refuse to repeat the Chancellor's pledge, a pledge as worthless as the manifesto promises that he's talking about. If he is fixing foundations, why is it that the PMI index shows that business confidence has crashed since the budget?
Mr. Speaker, we're fixing the foundation. We've got record investment into this country. 2 weeks ago, she stood there and said that she wanted all the investment, all the benefits of the budget, but she didn't know how she was going to pay for it. I noticed that, having come here criticising the national insurance rises over and over again, on Monday she admitted that she wouldn't reverse the position that we set out. Meanwhile, her science minister was saying he was going energetically to do the opposite. They really haven't got a clue what they're doing.
Mr. Speaker, if he wants to know what Conservatives would do, he should resign and find out. Until then, Mr. Speaker, I'm the one asking the questions. There's a petition out there, 2 million people asking him to go.
Yeah.
He's the one who doesn't know. He's the one who doesn't know how things work. It is not government that creates growth, Mr. Speaker. It is business.
Even long-standing Labour strongholds have witnessed residents rushing to sign the petition, a clear signal of deep and widening distrust. Starmer's effort to dismiss the petition as merely the work of former opposition voters has only intensified the backlash. His appearance on ITV's This Morning, where he described his government's choices as tough but fair, came across as dismissive and further distanced those already disillusioned by Labour's perceived shortcomings.
I'm not surprised, quite frankly, that as we're doing the tough stuff, there are plenty of people who say, well, I'm impacted, I don't like it. But we've got to make the sort of big calls on the NHS and on schools that are really important for the here and now and for the future. So in a sense, if we were in the business of giving away money and not impacting anyone, our ratings dropped, I'd be worried. But we're doing the tough stuff at the moment.
Starmer's reaction only highlighted how disconnected his government has become from genuine public concerns. The petition gained traction after support from high-profile names like Elon Musk and Michael Caine. Yet its beginnings were far more modest. It was started by pub owner Michael Westwood, who accused Labour of betraying its pledges and failing to bring meaningful change. He spoke about it live on television.
On live TV, he spoke.
Why should we sit back and take it? Why should we sit back and be lied to? So, see how we can change it, basically. You've got to be realistic, it's not going to happen. What man would sit there and debate his own job? I know I wouldn't like to do it myself. But at the same time, if you've lied to get into power, why shouldn't you be held responsible? Why shouldn't you be able to account?
What began as a simple protest has now evolved into a powerful political statement. Millions of disillusioned citizens are demanding change, and the pressure continues to grow. The upcoming January debate could mark a defining moment for Starmer. With public anger reaching its peak and opposition parties gaining traction, the Prime Minister's standing is weakening. Calls for a fresh election are getting louder, leaving Starmer's political future hanging by a thread. This debate is no longer just about a petition, it represents the wider frustration with the existing political order. Whether it sparks real change or serves as a warning for Labour, it clearly shows the strength of public pressure in holding leaders accountable. With the Conservatives regrouping, Reform UK rising, and Starmer's government under strain, Britain is heading into a period of deep uncertainty and potential transformation. The question isn't if change will come, but when. Meanwhile, Keir Starmer continues to make questionable decisions. The British Prime Minister seems to be aligning more closely with Chinese President Xi Jinping than with the newly elected U.S. President Donald Trump. At the G20 summit in Rio, he met with Xi and advocated for stable, respectful, and predictable relations aimed at improving trade and economic growth. But this move stands out as the U.S., under Trump, prepares to reignite a trade war with China. Trump's incoming administration, stacked with China critics like Marco Rubio, is preparing for confrontation over Taiwan and human rights issues. Starmer, on the other hand, is opting for a softer tone, focusing on dialogue. In stark contrast to America's firm stance, critics argue this could make Britain appear weak, especially since China is officially labeled the UK's greatest security threat. Starmer's approach recalls Richard Nixon's historic 1972 visit to Beijing, which redefined U.S.-China relations during the Cold War. Yet, unlike Nixon's strategic move, Starmer's position seems far less calculated. Rather than geopolitics, his focus lies squarely on the British economy and securing international partnerships amid global instability. For Xi Jinping, this plays perfectly. Facing economic troubles and a damaged reputation abroad, he's now pursuing friendlier ties with leaders like Starmer, Emmanuel Macron, and Australia's Anthony Albanese. If Trump's aggressive, isolationist policies push allies away, China could step in to fill that gap, and Xi is well aware of it. Starmer's bet lies in prioritizing trade and cooperation on global challenges such as climate change, but it could easily backfire given the UK's history with cyber attacks and espionage linked to Beijing. Meanwhile, Trump's hardline tactics risk driving allies toward China, giving Xi a potential edge in the race for global dominance. Depending on how things unfold, Starmer's move could be remembered as either a smart strategic shift or a serious mistake. What do you think will result from this decision? Share your views below, and give this video a like if you found it insightful. For ongoing coverage of the stories shaping Britain's future, this channel has you covered. Make sure to subscribe and stay updated by hitting the notification bell.